people are mainly spending their money on. Right now, only 3,000 minerals have gone to economy, as to where 4,244 have gone to economy for Galock. The problem with that is that the army count for the army count for Galock just boosted. So they're about almost the same army count, but see how the economy is just so much better that you can pretty much equal whatever time is doing. The reason I'm totally fucking up here. What I'm trying to say is time going for this really early heavy unit production normally means you should push out early while they're still on economy. Right now, we're fixing to see Galock switch really from heavier economy to heavier unit play, so we can kind of have that nice sturdy protection. And time is sitting in his base, and he's definitely getting his economy better, but it definitely needs a lot more, a lot bigger boost before it can get up and match Galock's. So that's, if that makes it. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah, Magic Lock, what? Galock is, he's in a very powerful position right now. Does have the option of taking 4 gases. Has his third going down. Gonna have the option of 3 gases pretty soon. Looks like the banelings are gonna go ahead and morph up. And let's look at the production tab. No more lings coming out quite yet. 2 drones in production. I don't think this attack is geared to go ahead and end the game, but I do think he wants to keep times units weak. He wants to go ahead and put in some damage before Terran gets that nasty two base army, because he does have an overlord at the 3rd, does have an overlord at a potential 4th, does have nice vision of the map, seeing that right now time is still on 2 bases, as we do see this medevac moving up to go ahead and possibly force Galock's army back home.
I think this one spine crawler and one spore crawler can do a lot, unless of course he just goes for the evolution chamber and the macro hatch, which can be a pretty huge loss. Yeah, he scouts the spore crawler and just kind of decides to drop on the edge, and right now would be a good thing to focus down is probably the infestation pit. After it'd probably be best to do queen infestation pit and then go for the hive, or the lair, I'm sorry. But right now he's just going to go for these 2 Evo chambers, which is going to do a lot. Oh, but this infestor moves up there, not doing anything, and just loses an infestor blindly. This drop is already paying for it, so... And these Marines are gonna get cleaned up pretty well here, but that one infestor was actually a pretty huge loss.
Yeah, fortunately it looked like the infestor didn't actually have the upgrade yet. So he wasn't ready on the ball with a fungal. Always a nice timing to try and have 22 lings in production. Now the 3rd hatchery is officially up, giving him 3 hatches worth of larvae, whether he wants to spend those on units or drones. It looks like we are seeing the infestor play going down here. Infestors a lot of times signifying that he's going to go ahead and tech into broodlords later on. These infestors are going to keep him in the game. Very valuable units, extremely powerful spells. But right now, Terran is really on 2 bases. He's massing up on 2 bases, and so if Galock doesn't play it safe and goes ahead and techs too hard after these infestors pop, he really could be caught unprepared for a big push that's going to come.
Yeah, right now time is just now putting down his 3rd base, so Overlord is going to scout it out. He should generate creep, would probably have been the best thing to do, so then he couldn't land it. But I think it's going to be a bit too late. Galock's not going to be able to do it in time. But that's always something cool you can see happen in professional games, is they'll have their overlord over a base and they'll generate creep, so Terrans can't land their stuff on it, which is actually a really cool strategy.
Oh yeah, baby. Siege tanks do all officially have the siege mode. Or tanks officially have the siege mode, turning them into siege tanks, and here comes the engagement. A really nice spread with these Marines.
Very nice spread. These banelings are going to get cleaned up pretty easily. Right now, time definitely won that engagement. You normally, whenever you use banelings, you want to kind of catch Terran off guard and kind of hold them in place with the banelings, or hold them in place with the lings while your banelings kind of come in and do a lot of damage. But that wasn't really going to happen. Galock was usually, whenever you're aggressively using banelings, it doesn't normally go well. But right now he's going to tech over into, already has teched to infestors. No hive yet, so he's probably just going to go ling fester. which is actually pretty effective against this composition, you could say. But it's gonna be really hard getting how do I say this? Getting past those banelings or those tanks. I'm sorry. Neuroparasite upgrade is actually also on the way. This is actually really strange because there's not much you can do with Neuroparasite whenever you're against this kind of Terran composition. It's normally more favored against Protoss because you can kind of grab Colossi and Mothership and such, and you can do a whole lot of damage with that if you can do that. But right now, the only thing I would see that would be worth neuroing is maybe a siege tank and kind of do some splash damage to their own siege tank, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, totally. Totally, because those units get officially switched onto the other side, and then all the tanks are like, oh my god, we've got a traitor, everyone fire! Fire now! And then the Marines are like, no!
And then, yeah, the Marines get splash damage to that. You're absolutely right.
I actually don't see that actually happen, but it does have, but that's exactly how it would work out. Very similar to putting those vested Terrans down on the ground near some innocent Marines just doing their job. What a douche of a alien player. But a nice big army going down. These lings extremely fast. Gonna go ahead, but we aren't seeing the best creep spread, to be honest. This creep spread really just sticking to home base. It's almost like he didn't put any tumors down quite yet, but we do see 2 tumors officially down at the natural. This poor queen, not really, for some reason, really low on energy. Might have wandered off from one of the hatcheries, but nope. She's actually the designated creep queen. She's the creep. Prom night all over again, and on the minimap we see a big blob of units. A small little pack of banelings gonna, oh actually it looks like a small pack, but 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 banelings gonna go ahead and supplement this army. And right now I think Time is really outnumbering his opponent. I think Galock is really outnumbering his opponent. However, if Time can keep this splitting going, as well as just have the advantage in the placement of the engagement, I think he could hold on. However, it is going to be really tough because Galock just has so much stuff, and he is really going for this maxed army attack pretty darn soon. I'm not sure if he's going to go ahead and use this opportunity to attack, as he is at 171 out of 200 supply.
Somebody start the Rocky music. We have 33 banelings going in. This is going to do a lot of damage, even if you just send these banelings in almost blind. But I think the splash damage to the tanks would probably take a lot of them out before they even got there. But I think that'd be kind of hilarious to see a lot of ling. Like this ling count is extremely high.
So
great
many
army
units.
control. Great army control by Galock, though. Normally you would probably see like all of these lings all over the place, but really great army control, because it's really hard to control Zerg units because some are really slow, some are really fast, and it's almost like there's no in between really. So it's like you have like a really fast unit like the Zergling, and you have like a really slow unit like the Infestor, and you try to have them together, but you always end up kind of throwing your units all around, and it's really irritating. But I gotta say, nice really army control by Galock right now. However, he doesn't have his Infestors on a different hotkey, which can be extremely deadly whenever it comes to engagements, because it used to happen to me before I started using hotkeys. Well, it used to happen to me before I had them on a control group, is what I was trying to say. But you'd kind of like A-click in, and your Infestors would like kind of just run up and run past because they can't attack. So what they do is they try to like run past and just get to where you would click to, and that's a very nasty thing to happen. 194 lings out. That is a lot of lings.
And we are officially maxed out.
Right, crackling upgrade on the way. Ultralisk happened. Normally, whenever you go for Ling Fester, you would like to tech into Ultralisk because you're already getting upgrades.
And here we go, big school of fish moving on out. Holy Lagnosphere, holy energy bars.
Wow. Oh, that was a nice funnel roll. I think Zerg's gonna come on top. I almost actually positive for that.
And here we go, Infestor's just hanging out in the back. It looks like we didn't need that tech. Not one fungal. Well, actually, did we see a few fungal growths going down?
There was actually a very nice fungal growth right at the beginning there.
Actually,
I think that was it.
So only medevacs to go ahead and supplement the army that is SCVs for Terran. Right now, Terran needs to go ahead and muster up from these Raxes. But that was all of Galock's supply. He's gonna have to go ahead and max back out. However, he does have saturation on officially, still 3 bases, moving his way to 2, as this 4th hatchery is purely just for unit producing units. I mean, unit producing is purely unit producing structure, and I do think Galock believes that he is well ahead of his opponent, as we do see the pack of ultras, and a lot of times that those ultras are just to go ahead and clench the deal.
They are just going to come up and probably murder this planetary fortress. The splash damage of Ultralisk are extremely good, especially when you have, he's fixing to have 5, or no, he did not get the Ultralisk armor upgrade, I don't believe. No, which, honestly, whenever you have 5 full upgrades on an Ultralisk, it's pretty much GG, because Ultras are just so powerful. They are going to have that full melee damage, and they're going to have 3 armor, which is going to be huge. Actually, I think there are 4. It's technically 4 because they start off with 1.
I think it's actually 5 if you look on the little unit card. Once you get the upgrade, then it becomes that powerful 5. And
right now it's at 4, and it's going to become 6 because it's going to increase by 2. I think it's 2.
Lings, Ultras just buying their time, waiting for their little homie G's to come along. These are like huge sharks with little tiny fish clinging onto their sides, taking the advantage, taking the extra loot that the Ultras don't want to have. And here we go.
Planetary Fortress is gonna inevitably go down.
That area of attack gonna go ahead and take it part. Now these Marines and Marauders do have a nice, very nice vantage point, but I don't think it's gonna be any use. However, 3 tanks, nice placement, really nice placement for Terran. If he is gonna be able to hold this off, it is gonna be now.
Galock, that 6 armor, I think is what it's gonna be. Hey, is it just me, or does that Ultralisk Cavern look like super freaking cute?
I think it's always pretty fucking cute.
This natural just got mined out. There's a lot of probes not doing anything. They can go over and just kind of easily, it's gonna oversaturate the 3rd base some, but I mean, mining is mining no matter how oversaturated you are. Minerals is minerals. Yep, there they go. They're gonna go over to saturate this 4th base. They're just gonna be there for, you know, just getting more minerals. Not like it really needs it right now. Terran's super duper far behind. He is floating quite a lot of minerals, but that's because he has a couple barracks not doing anything. He really should try to, like, yeah, there he goes. Yeah, it's really hard. Wow, that's a lot of barracks actually.
And it looks like this is going to be the last push for Mr. Galock. Was more than happy to deny the 3rd. Sees his command center wanting to take the 4th. The medevacs are first to the army. I wouldn't be surprised to see a nice little fungal on the medevacs as well as on these Terrans. And look, it looks like we do have the fungal on both of them. These poor Marines are just begging for these infestors to run out of energy. And it looks like they are going to finish. They are going to clear these up. Tank's going to go ahead and take out a few extra infestors. But there we go. Huge fungals. And right now, Galock has so much larva in the bank.
Yeah, the amount of money right now is pretty high. 38 more Zerglings on the way. I think he didn't run out of minerals, he just... yeah, he ran out of larva, that's it. They're actually not too bad a position right now. This really surprised me though, there wasn't too much harassment that went on early game that would allow... Because like I was talking about earlier, it's really hard for Terran to go into late game. Like I said, that mid game is their time to shine. And really no late game tech really, just Marines and siege tanks, which is, well, it's working fine, so I don't see any problem with it. Normally Thors would have probably been well, but it doesn't really matter. 26 banelings in the way. That is a lot of banelings. This 4th base is finally going to go down for Terran. Gonna kind of bring him back up in the economy.
The massive recall of mules. That's a lot of energy going down. Gonna go ahead and boost. Let's see if we can get an actual number. The economy now is 2,500. 2 more mules popping now. 2,500 to 1,400 in mining for the money. So exactly. Let's see how many racks we have. We do have a nice infrastructure for Terran to go ahead and give them a lot of units. A lot of that money going to be able to be spent. Now both these players keeping their money pretty darn low considering their position they're in. Let's go ahead and look at Zergy's economy. He is saturated. He is mined out at his main, just about on the gas and the money. Still mining on 2 gases at the natural, 2 gases on the third, and actually no gases on the fourth. We do see a big transfer going over back to the third hatchery. It looks like, no, actually to this. We do have a total of 5 hatcheries. That's a lot of lava. However, I do think Galock's economy is kind of dwindling. It's gonna take a while for these poor little drones to start saturating this hatchery, as they are going to be forced to go run back home and do long distance mining. Always a painful trip, as it does leave them vulnerable as well